Abuja. My name is Oikeke Igado Kure. The headlines this hour. Federal government launches action plan to prevent terrorism. Senate begins debate on 2018 appropriation bill. And on the foreign scene, North Korea fires highest ever ballistic missile. In sports, Nigeria to host FIFA Executive Summit in Lagos. Details in a moment. Please do stay with us. And now the news. President Muhammadu Buhari has assured that his administration will address the root causes of violent extremism and hate in the country. He spoke on Tuesday at the launch of a new policy framework and national action plan for the prevention and combat of terrorism in Nigeria. The framework, which was developed by the Office of the National Security Advisor in compliance with the presidential directive, was presented by the NSA Major General Babagana Mungunu. While addressing the determination and commitment of his administration to tackle the issue, Buhari recalled that Nigeria was before now a free, peaceful and enterprising nation. He called on state and local governments to develop action plans for preventing and countering violence at the grassroots. The Senate has begun debate on the general principles of the 2018 appropriation bill as most lawmakers expressed dismay at the recurring issue of poor budget implementation and massive borrowing in the previous and current budget estimate. Kicking off debate on the budget estimate, Senator Enyinaya Abaribe described the document as fictitious, a comment which drew angry reaction from Senate leader Ahmed Lawal.
Are we debating about a document that is totally fictitious? Call a document that the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria presented to the National Assembly of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, fictitious, improper, and is unparliamentary. And therefore, raise this point of order with the understanding that my brother, friend, and colleague will see reason to withdraw use of the word fictitious and use anything that is parliamentarily acceptable.
Senator Abaribe had said the poor implementation of the 2017 budget, which he put at less than 15%, cause for concern and is the reason for his doubt in the current budget estimate. Speaking earlier, Deputy Senate President Ike Ukwemadu, who presided over plenary on Tuesday, said the medium-term expenditure framework, MTEF, would be passed on Wednesday.
All are aware that the MTEF has not been passed, but under the law, what is expected is that not pass the budget unless we pass the MTEF because the basis. So, but the MTEF already have been submitted, but we want to ensure that we're on the same page with the House of Reps before we finish the debate on the 2018 budget. So I just want to plead with you that we'll continue the debate, and hopefully by tomorrow we'll have settled in the House and then we'll be able to pass the MTEF.
Meanwhile, the House of Representatives has mandated its committees to interface with the Nigerian Railway Corporation (NRC) on how to provide railway level crossing barriers. The House also wants provision of highway codes and alarm system arrangements at all railway level crossings across the Federation to curb incessant death at railway crossings. This follows a motion by Akinwumi Olaitan on the need to curb incessant death at railways crossing. Leading debate on the motion, Olaitan said there is an increased spate of death as a result of railway accidents in Nigeria.
The situation and infrastructure must be provided in terms of technology, communication, and so on and so forth. And the states cooperate with the federal government. Because if we are talking of physical infrastructure and urbanization, it belongs to the state. Therefore, in considering the rail line, those unwanted structure must be removed and should not even be allowed to be close to rail line in order to prevent people's life and to curb incessant accidents that always occur.
The House committees mandated are police affairs, information, national orientation, ethics and values, as well as land transport. Following reports that President Muhammadu Buhari has set up a committee to review minimum wage for workers, some civil servants are of the opinion that the committee should work closely with the Nigerian Labour Congress (NLC). This, they say, would make the proposed amount beneficial to all the workers in the country. Those who spoke with the correspondents in Abuja said the proposed plan by the government to alleviate the people's plight is a step in the right direction.
The committee should work closely with the NLC because for the NLC to come up with a proposed amount, they know it will meet the conditions of the citizens.
When we say minimum wage, it's laughable. What we have to be talking in this present Nigeria is living wage. There's nothing you can pay now. But what I'm saying, since the president has set up the committee, it's a very welcome idea. They have to look into the dictates, the primary aim of the assignment to make sure at least they will come up with something that will be very okay for Nigerians.
I want to begin by commending the government for taking that positive steps. But my concern and the concern of most Nigerians too is the government really sincere. Well, we have gotten to a point in this country that majority of the citizens no longer trust the government. Because most times when the government says one thing, at the end of the day, they'll be doing something that's completely different from what they said initially.
I just think the committee should work closely with the NLC to achieve the actual minimum wage that will help Nigerians. I'm not saying it's going to be the best, but at least to help us to a certain extent, rather than just depend on this 18,000 naira that is being collected now.
People are still skeptical about this move of the government, but the government still have the opportunity to prove us right or wrong at the end of the day. They should know that service to humanity is service to God, and they should be guided by their conscience. Having headed that sensitive position in this country, I will advise our people in our committee to be guided by their conscience. They should not allow themselves to be used as willing to by the government to deceive the citizen, because certainly posterity will judge them one day. If they allow themselves to be used by the government, time will come, people will not talk of the government, but we refer to our people as the chairperson who headed the committee that was used to deceive Nigeria.
If you pay anybody 1 million naira now, the standard of living in Nigeria has gone down, price of foodstuff have gone down, rent gone down, everything is paid. So talking of minimum wage, what they should be talking of now is maximum wage. A good journey starts with a step. So I believe they should do much, irrespective of political affiliation, irrespective of a tribe, sentiments apart and everything.
They should be guided by their conscience in whatever they are going to do.
Taking of drugs such as aspirin, codeine, antibiotics and other related substances without the doctor's prescription could be very harmful to health. These Nigerians have condemned, adding that it is life-threatening, and advised people to desist from indulging in the act.
Easily influenced, so when they see their mother, who's supposed to be an influential role model in their life, doing drugs, chances are that in the future, even at very tender ages, they may also start doing drugs. And of course, that means we're having more problems for society in future. Because once you have an unhealthy foundation, the future will be bleak for the nation. Then as mothers go through pregnancy and all that, so you know that drug abuse definitely affects pregnancy.
Many women that join into this drug something, they don't end it well. They don't even bear children, most of them. Some of them die before their age. So I don't think it's advisable for any woman to take drug without even prescription of doctor. It's wrong.
And it has really dealt with our society too. I don't advise anybody to take drugs, because I know it has caused a lot of problems. You see, people are mad. Why are they mad? It is not because naturally it is from their family background or lineage, but because of the influence of what they are taking.
It only suspends your problems. It doesn't stop it. After you did the drug, after you feel high, and after all the things, you still come back to face the things that made you do it.
It's not good for any woman at all to take drug without doctor's prescription.
It's not something any woman or any human being should go into, because drugs on its own have a very bad effect on the user. First and foremost, you were not diagnosed of any ailment, neither were you prescribed to take any drug of any kind for that particular sickness. By the time you are taking it indiscriminately, it affects your system, your life, everything about you. As a woman, your psychological effect is already affected, and more so when you are carrying a baby in your womb. It affects the brain, everything about that child, and that child will behave as if it's a moron.
Especially in the far north, you can see so many of them are taking all this type of drugs. They are girls, they are women, even married women, which is not good for any human being, because some of these drugs are made for animals.
The present state of prison facilities in Nigeria has become worrisome and cause for urgent attention. This is why Nigerians in the Federal Capital Territory Abuja have called on government to, as a matter of urgency, move to decongest prisons. Those who spoke with Human Rights Radio called for speedy process in the trial of suspects to ensure innocent people are not made to spend a long period of time in detention.
It has to do with the law enforcement agent, both the courts, the warders in the prison. Everyone needs to come home and begin to reason. If you are the one involved, what will you do? If you are the one caught in this crime and you are being concealed or confirmed in a particular place for a minor crime or whatever degree of the crime,
everything in this country is still boiled down to corruption. You go to our prisons, somebody has been committed just little offense, you just go and abandon him there. Why some that are even committing the capital one, they will just set them free.
The prison can be discongested if all hands are on deck and we did the right thing. The property should be done. Let this case be addressed. The religious body should also come into it and help. And then the court itself, the judges, should come out boldly.
The problem is from the judgment. Sometimes adjoining case. The case that maybe for only 4 months or 6 months, it can reach 2-3 years.
The corruption we are dealing with, it cut across even to the prison and the warders. If we are truly sincere with ourselves, though a crime is a crime, but I know there are levels of crimes. If somebody who steals a 1 naira and somebody who steals million, I know they are both stealing, but you look at the circumstances in which that crime was committed and how to address it. But by the time you keep the innocent person, in quote, not really innocent, but somehow the level of the crime cannot be compared with a hardy criminal who they are know this one is notorious, but that a young man or young lady maybe out of first you are jobless, it's not settled, it's a broken home, and maybe the societal influence has made you to commit this kind of a crime, maybe stealing 1,000 or anything food that time for you to feed the stomach or find a place of refuge, and you find yourself there. You should be kind in discharging this duty.
And from the prison, we now take a short break. We'll be right back. Please stay with us.
This is Human Rights Radio 101.1. Redefining broadcasting.
Welcome back. And on the foreign scene, North Korea has fired a ballistic missile, the first such launch since mid-September, according to officials in South Korea, Japan, and the United States. According to South Korea's military, the missile was fired from Pyeongchang, a city in South Pyongan province, on Wednesday. Japanese defense minister said the missile reached an estimated altitude of around 4,000 kilometers and broke up before landing in the country's exclusive economic zone. There was no immediate comment from North Korea. And in sports, the Nigerian Football Federation and NFF have confirmed that FIFA will hold one of the 12th FIFA Executive Football Summit meeting in Lagos, Nigeria. The FIFA Executive Football Summit meeting is expected to hold between November 2017 and March 2018. The summit is a gathering of representatives of around 20 member associations who are expected to offer constructive dialogue in a 2.5-day workshop section. That's the news for this hour, but we'd like to remind you that the federal government has launched an action plan to prevent terrorism in Nigeria. Senate begins debate on 2018 appropriation bill. And on the foreign scene, North Korea fires highest ever ballistic missile. In sports, Nigeria to host FIFA Executive Summit in Lagos. That's the news, but you can continue to follow us on our social media handle. Facebook is Human Rights Radio 101.1 FM. You can also tweet at us at HRightsRadio. Thank you for listening. My name is Oikeke Igado Kure.